doing YouTube, it can be a bit of a pain, but most of the time it's pretty good. Let's be nice and patient. There it is there. So the stream's up, chat's up. There's my audio, and the game audio is coming through as well. That's always a good sign. I'll just quickly share some things to Mr. Bossman Viper-Z. Just quickly, so then everyone can grab a link if need be. Oh, he's already put it in there. On top of his game, good to see. No, stream's up, chat's up, we're all good to go. So, hello everyone, I'm Lane Everingham, and welcome to the 2 hours of Tokyo race here at Tokyo Expressway, the South Inner Loop Circuit. A 5.56 kilometer, or in Queen's English, 4.07 mile, 15 turn course right in the heart of the Japanese capital. It's rather a stereotypical tight, twisty street circuit that has absolutely no margin for error. This is going to be a long, enduring, focus testing race where any misjudgment, any mistake, and almost any part of the circuit, and you'll hit a barrier. Any damage picked up from those mistakes can prove to be incredibly costly. Potentially race-ending, considering the quality of drivers we have here in Room 1. In terms of action, I predict a lot of overtaking is going to happen into the heavy braking zone of Turn 2, which Captain Risky and Mint Matt are coming up to now, and actually putting on just a nice little show for us. Bit of a prologue before the race, good stuff there. And I imagine we'll see a bit of overtaking at turn 11 at the pit lane hairpin. I don't expect to see too much more overtaking outside of those regions. But what I do expect to see is a lot of drama, especially going into turn 1 on lap 1 when the field is going to be all nicely bunched up for the start. The midfield, they're likely to have a great time of things on the opening lap when going through the left-hander, that's for sure. But regardless of what we may see, hopefully everyone watching will enjoy the live and also post-race coverage of this event. But we've still got a little while until race start, about 6 minutes to be exact. We'll run through the order in just a moment when everybody's here and lined up ready to go. But currently people are just out on track, try and get a feel for the car, with both race fuel and tyre wear. It will play quite a bit on drivers' minds, I imagine, with the extra fuel in the car and how that slows the car down. With the extra weight, you have to brake more, you have to turn more, you have to wait a lot longer to get on the accelerator, as Mr. Mahindra proved quite nicely there. So it's not going to be like the top 5 shootout. We're not going to see times anywhere near what we saw in the top 5 shootout, but hopefully we do get to see some great racing. But, just a little bit of news as well from what I heard from Mr. Viper-Z. 2 drivers who were supposed to be competing in this event aren't able to show up. One of which is XLXY90. He was supposed to drive a Jaguar F-Type. He isn't able to race. Neither is Noodles in the Coca-Cola sponsored RX Vision. He told us the day before, yesterday, he had his wisdom teeth pulled out, and he's still quite sore from that. So he's decided to stay out, deal with the pain without having to race. You can imagine doing a 2-hour event around a track like this. It would be quite painful with 2 missing teeth. In his place, we do have Mr. Hatsfield here. The Dodge Viper GT3R. Is that a Stewart F1 style livery? I think that's Stewart F1, hang on. Pretty sure it is. Yeah, it's got that checkered design that was on the Stewart F1 cars and more famously on Jackie Stewart's helmet. Rather a unique livery for that Dodge Viper, that's for sure. Would never in a million years think to do a Stewart F1 design on that big American boat. But it looks good. And I believe Hatfield will be starting at the back, I'm pretty certain, as he didn't qualify for Room 1. Get to see some of the other liveries as well. Get to see Mr. Bishop's Rainbow Warrior, car behind Speedy Tyres in the Virtual Racing School Satellite Racing Team Hyundai Genesis. It's quite a mouthful. He'll be starting from P6 on the grid, so on the third row. Not a bad place to start. You'll get plenty of slipstream from that position. He might find himself more towards the front by the end of the first lap, if he can utilise that slipstream to full effect. Seem to have another driver as well, Pearly Goat, in a Toyota Supra. Very nice teal blue design. Whole heap of sponsors on the thing as well. Car number 44. Rightio. So he must serve as a replacement to one of the two drivers that isn't competing now. Well, he's got car number 13 as a number board. He's got car 44 on top of his name. That's going to be tricky to work out. We should be getting started quite soon. Just 2 minutes before the race start. Now, to those who may not know, the way that the starting procedure is going to work, it's going to be a rolling start, a manual rolling start. So the drivers will line up on the grid, then they will set off and do one out lap. Just a formation lap, get their tyres up to the temperature to get themselves mentally ready. They'll line up 2 by 2. I don't believe it's staggered. I believe they're side by side. And then they'll set off for their 2-hour race. One neat little tidbit is that the leader gets to decide what side of the road they want to start on. And that privilege goes to this man, TX3 GTR. After setting an unbelievable lap time in the top 5 shootout last night, he was superb. Odds left, evens right. That is, yeah, not at all surprising that Mr. Mahindajit wants the inside line for turn 1. Not at all surprising. But yes, he set a brilliant lap time, a 1 minute 52.568. Put him on pole position, just under half a second clear of Ridwan F1. He set a 1 minute 53 flat. The young prodigy will start on the front row against this experienced GT racer. So we'll see how Ridwan fares starting on the front row. Rightio. Time for the race itself. There's Mr. Mahindajit starting on pole position in that lovely looking HKS Nissan GTR. You'll have Ridwan Hamza, the Virtual Racing School Satellite Racing BMW M6. Cy Bishop P3, the Logitech Rainbow Warrior Chevrolet Corvette C7. Noodles was supposed to start from P4, but again, his wisdom teeth problem means he will not be starting this race. Instead, Keaton, who set the fastest time in pre-qualifying, will start from P4 in his McLaren 650S. I remember he set a time of 1 minute 52.602 seconds. He was the quickest in pre-qualifying by 1/1000th of a second over Cy Bishop. Pretty close, that's for sure. Next driver is Speedy Tyres in P5 in the VRS Satellite Hyundai Genesis Group 3. Then comes Mint Matt in the Grove Porsche 911 RSR. Look at that design. Chrome red. It's absolutely fantastic. And then the big man himself, PX7, amazing hour, Andrew Lee. I've been watching this guy race since before he became the dominant driver in the Oceanic region in GT Sport. Known him for a very long time, a very competitive racer. I'm sure he'll be trying to carve his way through the field as early as he possibly can. Captain Risky will start from P8 in a Ray Brigg Alfa Romeo 4C. Never expected to see a Ray Brigg design on an Alfa, but I love it. It's a fantastic look. Viper Z is next in P9 in the Falcon Ford Mustang Group 3. Then Ranger Oz, a black and white, lovely design for the Ferrari 458 GT3. Norm is next, an equally lovely looking AMG. Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG, I should say. John Stan will start from P12. He was supposed to start from P14. He'll be happy with a few extra places, I'm sure. He's in the Volkswagen GTI VGT. By far the oddest looking Group 3 car of the lot. Canadian club as well. So sporting that alcohol sponsorship quite nicely. Then we've got Pal here in what I can only describe as a Porsche Martin 911 Vantage, I think. Of course, he's in the Aston Martin V12 Vantage, but with the 911 RSR base design. Not going to lie, it was a bit confusing at first looking at that car. Not going to lie. Hatfield is next in his Dodge Viper, and starting at the back of the grid will be Pierre-Lee Goat in his Toyota Supra. So we're coming up to the end of the second sector. Drivers will be instructed to move into formation as soon as they cross that point. Weaving, getting his tyres up to temperature. Make sure we get all the necessary information up. Now I do apologise to the audience just before we start the race. No keyboard yet, so I won't be able to bring up any of the fancy gimmicks that you can use when you have a keyboard. I will be getting one, I just don't have one on me currently, so I can only apologise for that. Rightio, we're about to start this race. GTR will start on the inside, the left-hand side of the road. Waiting patiently, you can see there, he's only just dabbing the throttle, getting ready. But here we go. We are underway at Tokyo. The 2 hours here in Tokyo Expressway has begun. Look at Mahinda Jet, he's pulled away already. A healthy margin. Oh my goodness, aside, Bishop goes into second place. He hits the wall at the exit of turn 1. Grid 1, he gets a run. Can he make the move stick? Yes, he can. Down through the dip towards the container depot section. Side pulls out of the slipstream. He adds the inside line, heading down towards the heavy braking zone at turn 2. He goes deep under brakes. It's 3 wide in the background as they head into this tight, twisty section within the opening sector. Grid 1 slots down into P3. It's side-by-side action through 4 and 5 as Amazing Hour shuffles his way into 4th place. So from 7th, he's already up to 4th, just in front of Speedy Tyres as they head through turn 6. Mint Matt in the Porsche just behind him, P7. Keaton, he's dropped down to, Matt's in P6, Keaton's down in P7. So Keaton down 3 places from the start, not ideal at all. Look at them funnel their way through the tunnel section here, all of them line astern as they head through turn 9, up towards the underpass here at turn 10. Side by side, they're just in the background. Oh my goodness me. Drivers looking left and right as they're trying to make some moves. Matt looking down the inside into the hairpin, overtaking Speedy Tyres. He moves into P5. Speedy tries to hang around the outside, does a pretty good job. He hangs on to P6. He's got Keaton right behind. Side by side between Viper Z and Jono Stan. Jono, nice start from him. He's up 3 positions as they head into the S section. Jono rather wisely pulls out of it. That's Viper Z go in front in his Ford Mustang through the S's. Heading up towards turn 15, the final corner on the racetrack. And that will complete a fairly dramatic first lap as Keaton almost goes into the wall. Sparks fly as drivers ran the barrier there. Keaton right in the slipstream. Pulls out looking the wrong way. Speedy covers him off as they head through turn 1 for the second time. Mint Matt leading this train of cars. There's Ridwan inside Bishop in P2 and 3. They're basically on their own. And GTR, he's way out in front in first place. There are the leaders. Look at Keaton looking down the inside here. Can't quite make it stick. Coming out to turn 3 through 4 and 5. Speedy tight. Oh, a bit of a wiggle there from the Hyundai. But he keeps the car off the barrier. That's the important thing. Coming around turn 6 now. The sweeping right-hander. Fantastic camera shots here as they head towards the tunnel section. Amazing hour right in the Porsche slipstream. Is he going to give him a friendly nudge? Try and push him towards the 2 in front? No, he pulls out of it. He's trying to look for a way through. Through turn 9, then turn 10. Up towards the hairpin of 11. What will Amazing Hour do here? He's looking. Same with Keaton. He looks down the inside. Down towards the hairpin we go. Keaton and Amazing Hour battling. Amazing Hour gets the run on the outside, so he hangs on to P5 for now. But the racing, as close as it is, I have absolutely no idea where to look. Basically relying on luck at the moment. This is fantastic stuff here in the midfield. So battling very hard for position already. Coming through the final corner now. Mr. Mahindajit already 1.7 seconds between him and Ridwan. Side Bishop in third place. And then this. A massive train of cars heading into turn 1, led by Matt Simmons. Oh, Amazing Hour trying to force his way through. They're side by side. Who's got the longer legs? Is it the VW? Is it the Porsche? Seems to be the Porsche. Matt comes out on top. Coming towards the braking zone at turn 2. Amazing Hour looking down the inside. Keaton looking even more so down the inside into turn 2. Oh, he gets Amazing Hour. He's into 5th. Through turn 3. Now we're coming up to the chicane of 4 and 5. There's 2nd and 3rd. Then comes the rest of the field. Coming up towards turn 6 now. Round they go. Very nice from all of the drivers here, keeping out of trouble. Fortunately, no major dramas early in the race. As I mentioned earlier, you really don't want to get damaged in this sort of race. There's no safety car to try and bring yourself back into it. As Keaton, looking down the inside of turn 10, moves into 4th place. Matt, is he going to retaliate here into the hairpin? He's looking left and right, but he stays behind the McLaren. Jono Stan trying to have a go here. He's alongside Speedy. Speedy on the outside should get the traction. A bit of a wiggle there from the GTI VGT. Thankfully, everybody keeps out of trouble as they head through the S section for the 4th time. Through turn 13, then 14. Oh, you can see there, sparks flying. Drivers making tiny mistakes. But so long as they don't get damaged, they'll be just okay. Crossing the line. Closing in on the 10-minute mark. See what our leader's up to. My goodness, he has pulled away 2.5 seconds out in front. Ridwan's still in 2nd. He's got a bit of a healthy margin to the side of. At 9/10, he's doing a pretty good job. Keaton's next in 4th place. Make that Mint Matt as he slipstreams his way through into 4th. Amazing Hour. A big dive from the VW. Contact between him and Matt. Matt is sent wide into the wall. Oop, just went by him. There he is there. Oh, he's very sideways. Captain Risky. Managed to move. Oh, dearie me. A bit more contact there at the exit of turn 4. Dear idea. So Matt down to 9th, but fortunately, he's still in this train. Heading into the tunnel section. Through turn 8. Vipers right on the back of the Hyundai. They head through turn 9. Keaton pulls out of the slipstream. He's looking for a move. Jono Stan, he's looking for a 2-for-1 move here at the hairpin. He's got a great run in that Volkswagen. Into the hairpin, doesn't go for any sort of move. Keaton though does. He's into 4th place. Viper Z trying to get a run down the inside here. Can't get it done there. Now it's a drag race between the two VWs as Jono Sten and the Amazing Hour dragged their way up the hill towards turn 12. Contact between a few drivers there as they head into the right-hand sweeper. Through 13. Oh, big wiggle there! Oh my goodness me! Jono, where's he gone? There he is there. So he's still in the train in P8. He was very, very sideways. My goodness. Fortunately, no damage. And he's still very much in this battle. Through turn 1. Down towards turn 2. My goodness, this race start. Very difficult to keep up with absolutely everything here. As we have a bit of a drag race here between Sai, Ridwan. Sai into 2nd place. Amazing Hour stays behind Keaton. Viper Z in 6th place. Side by side here between Jono and Speedy. Jono stays in 7th through the chicane of 4 and 5. Oh, and Jono has made a bit of a mistake. It's cost him a position to Matt as they head into turn 6 through the right-hand sweeper. Everybody keeping it out of the walls, doing a good job. It's just a big slipstream fest here. They're making all their way down towards the hairpin. Amazing Hour right on the back of Keaton. Now will he try and battle his rival, or will he just try and help him along, try and catch up to the two in front? Amazing Hour staying behind. Doesn't want to race just yet in what can only be described as a GTA 5 sponsored Volkswagen Beetle. A gold GTA 5 sponsored Volkswagen Beetle. As he goes purple. There you go. To the middle sector. Sai, Ridwan, P2 and P3. Sai, can he pull away? It doesn't look like it at the moment. Ridwan's keeping up with him quite nicely. And well out of front. The HKS GTR driven by Mr. Mahinderjit has got a 3.4 second lead. He is well clear of the field. Doing a great job out in front. Amazing Hour still lingering behind Keaton. I reckon these two might try and work together, try and catch up to Ridwan and Sai. See there, just staying behind. Yeah, he's giving him a push, so Amazing Hour doesn't want to race just yet. As Matt's looking down the inside of Speedy. Into 7th. Oh, he's going to have a go at Viper. What a move from Simmons. In the Porsche, he moves up to 6th place, coming out of turn 5. He now leads the train. Turn 6 we go. Viper, what will he do? Will he stay behind? Or will he retake that position? Here we go. Through turn 7. Then through turn 8. He's going to stay behind through here, obviously. There's no point overtaking him through this flat-out section. You want to have a go. Do it at the hairpin at turn 11. We're coming up to the right-hand hairpin. Everyone line astern, no overtaking just yet. Coming out of the hairpin. Everyone keeps out of trouble for the most part. Good to see. So I think we've come out of that chaotic start phase. Everybody's now trying to settle into a rhythm and perhaps try and work together to try and get towards the front. Saw a few sparks there coming off Ridwan's car. It's amazing how it's giving Reedon a big hurry up through that S section, my goodness. Ridwan, he's still behind Sidog. He's still within slipstream range, I believe, as well. Though looking at the gap, it's actually increasing. So maybe he's not... Oh, and I think he brushed the inside wall there. Yeah, he's lost about 2/10 at turn 1. So he's now falling into the clutches of Keaton and Amazing Hour. So he might have a three-way battle shortly. Heading up towards the container depot section. Amazing Hour, what does he do? Yeah, he's still working away with Keaton. Oh, Captain Risky looking down the inside. Through turn 3. turns 4 and 5. Risky is into 8th place. A nice move from the Alfa Romeo driver. Looking at the rest of the field, we've got Jono Stan in P10. We've got Norman P11. He's just behind this battle. He can find a little bit more time. He can claw onto it, get the slipstream, and really get involved. Got Pal 97 in P12. Rangerous down in 13th place. That's not great at all. He started from P10, down in 13th. It's not where he wants to be. Hatfield down in 14th. Goes at the back of the field in 15th. He's still soldiering on. It's a long endurance race where anything can happen. GT out in front. 3.6 seconds, a very healthy margin. Sidog in his Chevrolet Corvette. Ridwan next. And he's got Keaton an amazing hour right behind. I'm sure out of all of the drivers in this field, the two people he wouldn't want behind him are probably those two. We got a 12th time Division 1 champ in P4 and arguably the fastest guy in the Oceanic region in P5. So this youngster from WA, he's going to have a lot of pressure on him in a minute. Actually, make that a few seconds as they come through turn 1. Heading down towards the container depot section. Keaton, will he run Ridwan along? Will he go for a move? He pulls out of the slipstream. He's going for a move. Amazing hour follows through. So Keaton into 3rd. Oh, the Ridwan putting up a fight, but he's on the dirty side of the track. Oh, a bit of a wiggle there. But Amazing Hour shuffles his way into 4th place. Now, probably the best thing Ridwan can do in this moment is just stay with him. Do his best to stay with him. Make full use of the slipstream. But in doing that, he can't afford to make any mistakes. Because he's got an angry train of cars just behind, being led by Matt, Captain Risky, Viper Z there in P8. 3 seconds behind this group, but that gap can quickly shrink without any slipstream. Ridwan, I have a feeling he's going to try and stay behind. Yes, that's exactly what he's going to do. And Keaton is closing in on side. Look at the gap, 1.3 seconds or so between P3 and P2 as they head up the hill towards the 3rd sector. Purple to the middle sector there from Keaton, so he's pushing hard. Through the S as we go through turn 14, I should say. Then through turn 15. I know my corporate language. Down the main straight we go. Gap has shrunk to under a second. It's now going to turn into a 4-car fight for 2nd place. Chevrolet in front, followed by McLaren, VW and BMW. 4 completely different cars battling so closely to one another. And we're closing in on the 20-minute mark. Heading down towards the container depot section. No one quite in a position to battle just yet. You can see that beautifully designed Golf livery on the McLaren as well. That is stunning to look at. Viper Z kindly gave me a cheat sheet, and what he tells me about Keaton is that he's been spending quite a bit of time on this livery, and you can tell it's quite a nice looking design. In fact, it's so nice, I think Sai's going to get a good look of it in his wing mirrors, because he's right behind the Corvette. Through turn 9, into turn 10, absolutely flat out. Coming up to the hairpin, turn 11. Arguably the best overtaking spot on the circuit. Amazing Hour just having a little peek there, just telling Keaton, I'm still here, mate, I'm still here. Ooh. Amazing Hour getting a bit of a run on the exit, but he slots in behind the McLaren. Ridwan losing touch. You can see it's now 8/10 between him and Amazing Hour. He needs to find that time back, try and claw back onto Amazing Hour's rear bumper. He's gaining a little bit through the S's. Is he close enough to get any slipstream though? I reckon he is. just needs to stay in touching distance to Amazing Hour. Just behind, we now have Captain Risky in P6. Got Matt Simmons in 7th, and that glorious looking Grove Porsche. These two are essentially on their own. Jono Standard's next, and we've got a three-way fight here. Got Jono, got Speedy, we've got Viper Z. They're 3 wide, heading down towards the container section. Who's got the longest legs of the lot? It is pretty bloody close, I can tell you. But look at that VGT as Goats has left the room. Oh dear. As Jono Stan moves into 8th place. What a lovely shot that was. But Goats, he might have disconnected. He was down in 15th. Oh, and Viper goes into the wall. Now, according to the telemetry, he doesn't have any damage, so he can consider himself lucky. Speedy moves into 9th place in the Genesis. Just behind is Norm and Ranger Oz. They're closing in. Through the tunnel. There's Norm. There's Ranger Oz as well. Heading down towards the hairpin. Speedy looking around the long way. Jono covers the inside, moves back onto the racing line. No overtakes as Ranger Oz moving down the inside of Norm here at the hairpin. A little bit of contact, but you expect that with closed wheel GT racing. Ranger Oz into 11th place. Nice little three-way fight here for 8th. We'll come back to that in just a moment. Oh, hello! Sai, what are you doing back here? So Sai's obviously got into some sort of trouble, because he's now down in 7th place behind Captain Risky and Matt. No damage on the Corvette, so you can be quite thankful that he didn't get any damage. Now down in 7th. We've got Amazing Hour now in 2nd place. Keaton in 3rd. Got the BMW all over the back of the McLaren as they head towards turns 2 and 3. No moves on offer just yet. Then we got this. Captain Risky, Mint Mad, Psydog coming out of turn 5 up towards the sweeper of 6. Don't see too much from V3 just yet, though Matt is all over the back of the Alfa Romeo as they're heading towards the tunnel section. Matt right behind. Can get a good look at that Ray Brigg design. Heading through turn 9 into 10. Matt, what does he do? What's he going to do? Is he going to try and pass the Alpha? He's got a nose looking down the inside, but he doesn't go for any move. He stays behind Captain Risky for now. There's 2nd, 3rd and 4th having a great time. Amazing Hour in P2. Keaton half a second behind in P3, then Ridwan in 4th. Ridwan doing a great job. Oh, almost into the wall there. He is using every millimetre of this racetrack. Fantastic drive. And look at that gap now, just over 8.5 tenths. And McLaren, though, has got some pretty good legs because it's closing in on the straights. But what these fellas are not closing in on is Gobi Mahinderjit and his GTR. 6.3 seconds. He is gone. Way out in front. Fantastic effort from him. Alright, Red One, what you gonna do, buddy? You're gonna stay behind. He's gonna go for a move, he's gonna stay behind. Yeah. I believe we're entering that sort of phase where drivers just want to work together for now. They don't want to battle too hard. They're getting ready for their first pit stop now. There are 2 strategies on offer here for this Tokyo 2 hour. It's either a 1-stop or a 2-stop. So the key times to look out for time remaining is about 1 hour 20 minutes, 1 hour and 40 minutes remaining. Those will be the key times to look out for. It won't be exactly those times, but it's in and around that region. So if we see anybody pit at about that 40-minute mark, they're likely doing a two-stop, unless they have some sort of damage. Red one falling back. It's now just in front of Captain Risky. Gap of 1.7 seconds between Red one and Keaton. So Red one making a mistake somewhere, losing a bit of time. Through 13, through 14. Now Red one, he'll have a whole heap more pressure now. A whole heap of guys right behind him in a few moments. Moving out Keaton, then Red one, Captain Risky, Mint Matt, and Psydog. Heading into turn one. Oh, right up towards the wall there. In fact, Red one is pulling away ever so slightly. Here comes Matt. He's got a bit of a run. But again, just helping Captain Risky along. Pushing him towards the BMW. Through turn 3. Turns 2 and 3. Then turn 4 and 5. Oh, a bit of a wobble there from Red one. Lost him a little bit of time. Through the right-hand sweeper of turn 6. Right up towards the wall. Sparks fly as the drivers brush up against the barriers. Through turn 7. Then turn 8. Through 9. Then through turn 10. What does Risky do? He's got to run. He's looking. Red one goes on the racing line. Risky down the inside. He's going for 4th. Fairly nice move from Risky. A bit sideways on the exit though as he tries to put the power down. As Matt follows through. So Matt into 5th place. Red one down to 6th. Mr. Bishop just casually sitting in 7th place, biding his time, waiting for his right moment to strike. Through 13, 14. And through turn 15. Or a bit of sparks flying off the Alfa Romeo there. Red one right behind the Porsche. He can't do much. Turn 1 is definitely not an overtaking spot. Oh, some more sparks flying off the cars. Range Rover's in 8th place. Oh no, hard into the wall. Oh no. He's got front aero, front right suspension damage. There goes Hatfield into 13th. Oh dear, oh dear. He's fallen down to last. He'll have to come in and get that fixed. Now, fortunately, he's at roughly... he's about 10 minutes early, but maybe he can try and do a two-stop still. I'm pretty sure you'll still be able to do a two-stop. But I could say with a fair bit of confidence his chances for a race win are basically out the window now. That Ferrari just sounds really nice. That's the only reason why I stayed on that. I like that Ferrari. Mint Matt looking down the inside into the hairpin of turn 11. He moves into 4th place, overtaking the Alfa Romeo of Captain Risky. Red one lost touch big time, 1.7 seconds behind. That's steadily increasing as well. Corvette flying its way through this S section. Now through turn 15. Oh. It's a fairly common occurrence, seeing those sparks fly. It's always a bit nerve-wracking. You never know, you might get damage. If you hit the wall just hard enough, really hurt your chances of winning. Red one hard into the wall there. Fortunately, no damage for him. Ranger Oz is steadily closing in his Ferrari. Red one just needs to keep his head down. we go into turn 2. Captain Risky just staying behind. Out in front though, got to be Mahinderjit with a 5.3 second lead. That's actually come down. It used to be about 6.3, so amazing hour. He is flying in that Beetle. Steadily closing the gap, lap after lap. Keaton's keeping up as well in his McLaren. Look at that, under lights. A lovely reflective blue and the bold orange. Oh, it just works. It's a great looking car. Matt in P4. Got a Ray Brigg Alfa Romeo in his wing mirrors. Not going for any moves just yet. We're past the 30-minute mark of this race. Got an hour and 28 minutes and 25 seconds left in this race. Lot of racing to go through. Range Rover's in 8th, Viper in 9th. He's got speedy tyres right behind him in the Genesis. Coming out of 14 through 15. Oh, that Hyundai got a great run to the S's, just had nowhere to go. Down the main straightaway. Well, here we go. Speedy down the inside. We'll have the inside line for turn 1. Gets it done. So into 9th place goes the Genesis. What does Viper do? Will he retake that place back? Will he work with Speedy? I suppose we'll find out in a few moments now, won't we? Heading through the dip, underneath the overpass at turn 6. Viper just staying behind, so I reckon he's going to try and work with Speedy here. Have to try and close in on Ranger Oz in his black and white Ferrari. Love that noise. There's red one. He's losing a few tenths here and there to Ranger Oz. He's maintaining his 7th place. Then there's Matt in P6. He's a second behind. Perhaps he brushed a barrier. Maybe he was shafted out of the way, I'm not sure. He's down in P6. 1.1 seconds behind Sidog, who is challenging Captain Risky here as they head towards the hairpin at turn 11. Side doesn't go for any sort of move. Oh, brush of the wall there from Captain Risky. Up and over the crest. In towards the S's, turn 12. Out, then through 13. Then 14. Then into turn 15. Oh, right up towards the wall there. Pushing hard, as they should. Up towards turn 1. What does Captain Risky do here? Just stays on the racing line. Doesn't want to do anything silly. So does he want to work with Captain Risky here? He's steadily pulling away from Matt, demonstrating the raw power of the slipstream. Oh, Captain Risky defending the inside. Actually, no, he's letting Sai through. That's what he's actually doing. So Captain Risky has made an order to let Mr. Bishop take point, take 4th place. Try and close in on Keaton in P3. The gap is 3.8 seconds. Matt still there or thereabouts, 1.4 seconds behind P5. Not losing touch dramatically, but he's not gaining back any time. Red one, P7, now only a 1.1 second margin to Ranger Oz. So that Ferrari is closing. Viper, he's got to run. Will he just help his buddy along? Seems like it. Viper is, of course, the satellite racing driver. So these two are bound to work together. Oh, big wiggle there from the Genesis. Oh, and the Porsche Martin I saw there of Cal had a bit of a moment. He brushed the wall on the exit of turn 11 as well. 3.6, 3.7 seconds between Keaton and Psydog. 53.3. Pretty competitive lap there from Psy. Just showing how quick he is when he's got a clear track in front of him. Looking at some of his other lap times, 53.6, 53.6, 53.6. This is his quickest lap by 3/10 for some time. Heading up towards the container depot section, you see Captain just working with the Corvette. The Americans and Italians working together, as it were. Matt, 1.7 seconds behind. He's not losing a massive amount of time, but it's just enough. Just cannot close that gap. He's basically relying on a mistake from either Captain Risky or Psydog. With these two working together, it's highly unlikely that these two will make a mistake. Look at that, that purple livery under lights. It's a stunner. Through turn 10. Up towards a hairpin of 11. Closing in on that important 1 hour, 20-minute mark for anyone doing a two-stopper. Oh, a bit of an awkward run from Bishop. But he hangs on to 4th place, but they lost a little bit of time. Ranger Oz has moved into 7th place. He has overtaken Ridwan. So Ridwan dropping to 8th. There's Speedy Tyres and Viper Z just behind. Trying to close that gap. Ridwan, he'll be trying to keep up with Ranger Oz here. Make full use of the slipstream. A bit of a wiggle there. He's kept the car straight and out of the barriers. That's the important thing. 54.5. That's about a second, 1.2 seconds slower than what Bishop did in the previous lap. Oh! See how Ridwan's struggling just a little bit. But the slipstream is definitely helping him out. What does he do here? Does he go for the move? No, he's working with the Ferrari. A lot of teamwork here going on as Hatfield has left the room. So the two replacements, the two drivers that were absent, they've now both left. Yeah. Viper did tell me that it was likely that those two would probably leave. And seems that he was right. Yeah, a lot of teamwork going on, which you kind of expect, because the slipstream in this game is so ridiculously powerful. Coming up towards the hairpin. Yeah, these two just going to continue to work together. A bit of a wiggle there from Amazing Hour. That gap hasn't shrunk. Still 5.8 seconds. The Hinderjet still way out in front in his GTR. It's got a bit under 50% fuel. So, with the time remaining, would he be able to do a one-stop? I suppose we'll find out shortly. Look at that, 53.3. Out in front, doing a great job. What about Amazing Hour? 53.5. I think that was also 53.6 from Keaton. So I'm doing a 53.3, so he's matching the pace of the HKS GTR out in front. Granted, he does have the help from Captain Risky behind, giving him a bit of a push along. And there's Mint Matt, Ranger Oz, who still has Ridwan behind. I believe these two are going to be working together. Oh, hello. Womble. RMR. Interesting. Just joining the session. We've got Speeder Tyres and P9, then Viper Z. These two are working together. Then Pound 97. Norm is just behind in 12th place. It's Hoon Corp, Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG. Definitely one of the more stunning looking cars in my opinion in the GT3 class. And then John O'Stan got his damage fixed. He's now 11.9 seconds behind Norm. He's just digging in his Canadian club Volkswagen VGT GTI. I got those the wrong way. Wow, GTI VGT. One of the oddest looking Group 3 cars of the lot. And it's still with a comfortable lead. Shrunk a little bit, 5.7 seconds to Amazing Hour. Making his way out of the S's. One of only a few Group 3 cars that have a 7-speed gearbox as well. Because that threw me off. I saw 7. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. The Beetle has 7 gears. That'll be interesting to tune with a customizable transmission. To tune all 7 gears. Sai setting a pretty quick lap time, 1 minute 53.295. Getting up towards that quali pace. It's about 7/10 off or so. Which, considering you've got tyre wear and race fuel, that's actually pretty quick. Captain Risky a bit sideways there. Mint Matt, 36, 2.5 seconds behind Risky. Ranger Odds starting to pull away from the BMW. Got an 8/10 margin as Ridwan was very sideways out to turn 5. Around the sweeper at turn 6. Yeah, Ridwan's now well and truly out of the tow. He's now going to be vulnerable to his VRS Satellite Racing teammates. Speedy Tyres and Viper Z. I'm sure this is the race that Ridwan expected. But I'm sure this isn't the race that he wanted. He wanted to be up towards the front. After doing a very solid job in the top 5 shootout. Setting a 53 flat. Hello, pit stop. So Mitmat into the pits with 1 hour, 17 minutes left on the clock. Interesting. Now, it's a 19-second wait from pit entry into your pit stall. So you do have to factor that in when doing your stops. Also getting a top up in fuel as well. He leaves the pit lane with just under 60% fuel. So using 60 litres over 40 or so minutes. Interesting. Now he's got clear track in front of him. He's basically given himself a license to go flat out. Try and set some qualifying times, and I'm sure he'll enjoy that. Pal, he's got company now. Norm closes in his AMG SLS. Going up towards turns 2 and 3. Norm, deep on the brakes, closes up on the Aston. Through 3, then through 4 and 5. And Norm might be able to have a go into turn 11. Let's see here. And these two still just working together at the moment. Gonna see anybody else pit for fresh tyres. Find out. Big lift off there from Captain Risky. Just trying to make sure he doesn't punt his buddy into the Shadow Realm. Bit of a wiggle there from the Corvette, but he's kept it straight. Amazing Hour. He's closed that gap a little bit, and I literally mean a little bit, about 2 or so tenths. Gap has closed to 5.5 seconds. HKS GTR still with a massive, comfortable lead. This isn't going to stop Amazing Hour attempting to close in, try and challenge for the win. 53.6 on that lap, 53.5 from Keaton, side 53.4. See how close everybody is at the moment. It's fantastic. Trouble is as well, something that's quite nice with the F1 spectator view You get the intervals between everybody, not just the person you're looking at. So you get to switch to action quite quickly. Or at least as a commentator, you can recognize when the action is going to take place a lot quicker compared to this. But certainly this isn't bad at all. The camera angles in GT Sport is significantly better than F1. And the noise. Just the noise. So much better compared to the turbocharged vacuum cleaners we got in the F1 games. Let's see. Norm Scottson in front of Powell. Powell is not going to give up though. He's well in that slipstream. Closing the gap. Bit of a wiggle there. Maybe that was just a little bit of lag. Heading through turn 9, then 10. Coming up towards the hairpin. Not quite close enough. Doesn't quite have the straight line speed in that Aston. But he'll do his best to keep up. Norm will do his best to keep out of trouble. The gap has increased now. 5.8 seconds between GTR and Amazing Hour. So Mahinderjit still has a little bit of pace. Fuel and tyre update. Well, at the moment, only 2 drivers have made a pit stop. One was for damage, that is John O'Stan. He hit the wall at turn 1. He had to pit and get this fixed. The only driver who is on fresh tyres is Matt. He's it. He also filled up his car to about 60% of fuel as well, so he's committing to a 2-stop. Now, he was stuck in no man's land, so he's taking the opportunity to try and go flat out in some clear air. Try and perhaps outpace everybody else. I think that's his game plan. But everybody else, they haven't stopped yet. So I think a lot of drivers committing to a 1-stop strategy. As you can see, Powell, he's used quite a bit of fuel, over 75%. His tyres still look relatively okay. Norm, though, he's done a better job. Less tyre wear compared to his rival. He's got more fuel. He's sitting at about exactly 25%. And we've got Viper said just over 25. It's up a fair chunk of his fronts, but you do expect that, especially in the Ford Mustang. And Speedy, fairly similar story, except for the fuel. He's got quite a bit more fuel compared to Viper. Again, expected from the Mustang. Then we got Red One. He's got similar fuel to Speedy, but he's worn out his tyres a bit more. He's been slipping and sliding quite a bit over these 25 laps. So to see him with extra tyre wear is not at all surprising. Range Rovers in the Ferrari. Those front tyres look barely worn at all. Still got a healthy bit of fuel, just over 25%. Then there's Captain Risky. He's got a bit more compared to Range Rovers, about the same amount as Speedy and Red One. His tyres, except for his rear left, look pretty okay. Now Sai, he's got a bit less fuel compared to Captain Risky, but you do kind of expect that. He's been at the front of this group for some time. He's been doing a lot of the hard work. Captain's been doing all of the pushing. So Risky in the slipstream, he's able to save fuel. Sai isn't. Keaton, he has just over 25%. Look at Amazing Hour. Now this is expected from the Beetle. He's used up a tremendous amount of fuel. This is a rather natural characteristic of the VW Beetle. He's got about, I'd say, 13, maybe 14% left in that tank. And I reckon he's going to try and do the 1-stop. So he's got 10 more minutes to get through, or about 5 laps to get through until he makes a stop. And then we've got Mahinderjit out in front. Tyres looking pretty good. He's got just under 25% of fuel, but I don't think he'd be too worried about that. He's got a 6.5 second lead now over Amazing Hour. Oh, hello, Keaton. Oh, hello. So, Amazing Hour's fallen back behind Keaton. Why has he done this? He's going to try and save fuel. I reckon. He wants to get to that 1 hour mark. Because doing 5 laps with 14% of fuel, actually it'll be less than that now, it'll be about 12, maybe 11%. You're telling yourself you have to use 2% of fuel per lap, 2 litres of fuel a lap. It's going to be very tricky, especially in that Volkswagen. It just chews through fuel like no tomorrow. So amazing how sitting behind in the slipstream. Blue flame shooting out of the side there with the Beetle's unique exhaust ports. Definitely a very interesting place to put them. Yeah, you can see the red light flashing now, so I think he's got less than 2 laps left in the tank, I think. So the game's telling him pit now or pit next lap. Captain Risky now in front. Hello. So Side slotting in behind. Maybe Side's going to try and save a bit of fuel here behind the Alfa Romeo as Keaton goes in with 1 hour 7 minutes 40 seconds remaining. He's in the pits. 24 litres of fuel in the car. We'll have tyres at the ready. Go the old Pirellis, on go the new ones. Lando Norris helmet as well. That's quite a nice touch. That's quite a nice design as well. I keep reference to Mint Matt. He was the first driver who pit for tyres. And there's Matt. So Matt is in provisional second at the moment, but he's still got another stop. Look at that purple to the middle sector from the Porsche driver. Coming through 13 and 14. See there, he's got just under 50%. Now, will this be a fastest lap of the race from Matt? Coming up to the line. No, it's not. He's 4/10 off. He's well off. Now, Keaton, he's got almost a full tank in that car. Didn't quite catch the reading, but from the looks of things, that's about 90% or so. Should be able to get to the end. And on those fresh tyres now, trying to get a bit of an undercut on his rivals. What's he going to do? Is he coming in this low? No, he's doing another. Amazing hour. Going out for another lap. The gap has increased to 8 seconds between Mahinda Jet and Amazing Hour. Amazing Hour having to save quite a bit of fuel. You can see he's well down, 7/10, his previous best. Captain Risky got Bishop right behind. Bishop probably trying to save a little bit of fuel. You can see he's just under 25%. Compared to Captain Risky, who's basically bang on 25. We've got Ranger Oz in 5th place, 3 seconds behind, then Ridwan. Then we got Speedy and Viper all in the train. These three are probably going to try and work together. We've got Norm and Pal as well. There's Norm in the back shot. Pal is a little ways behind him. Heading around turn 1. Now what do these three do? They're all essentially teammates. All part of the same group. What do they do? Speedy is closing in. Doesn't go for a move though. All stay this nice lovely train. A bit of lag there from Red One. Norm, P9, he's got a 5-second margin over Powell, who is running low on fuel. And there's Jono, P11. Yet to make a stop for tyres, but as I mentioned earlier, he had to pit for damage after a big shunt at turn 1. Matt, 1.6 seconds. Make that 1.7 between him and Keaton. Now, ooh, amazing hour in with only 2 litres left. And a few other drivers in. Captain Risky, Psydog, 20%. Captain Risky at 23. Now, amazing hour. He'll have to full fuel, surely. Keep an eye on the reading on the leaderboard. Surely he'll have to full fuel. Will he come out behind Risky inside? It's going to be close, I reckon, with the extra fuel. Leaving the pits. And there's Captain Risky just in front. So Captain Risky had 85 litres. Amazing Hour has a full tank in his car. There's Bishop just behind. He's got, let's see here. So that's 85. That's about 90, maybe 89, 88%. So Amazing Hour losing a position there. Captain Risky. Probably more crucially still losing positions to both Keaton and Matt. The undercut working wonders. Remember as well, there's only ×1 tyre wear and ×1 fuel consumption. So these tyres aren't going to wear too badly. So Matt, Keaton, making that undercut really work. Good stuff. Captain Risky, Amazing Hour. Risky defends the inside. Amazing Hour. He's looking on the racing line. Doesn't go for any move though. Just stays behind the... Oh, a little bit of contact there. Through turn 2, then through turn 3. Into the chicane of 4 and 5. You can see the drivers using the full width of the circuit. That is tight between those two. As they exit turn 5. Heading up towards turn 6. Fast right-hand sweeper. 3 very, very different machines here in this battle. Sai's actually losing touch a little bit. He is 1 second behind Amazing Hour. He's not in the tow. So what's Andrew going to do here? Is he going to battle? Is he going to work with the Alpha? And the Alpha pulls to the inside. Amazing Hour stays on the racing line. Viper and Powell are into the pits for their stop. Viper's there with 13%. Powell with nothing in the tank. He used a full tank. Viper with 13%. Will he come out? 91. I thought he might come out with a full tank. Powell will more than likely come out with a full tank. And his Porsche Martin. Long, long way. Yep. Full tank. Down in 13th. Captain Risky still in front of Amazing Hour, so I think Amazing Hour wants to work together, but I reckon Captain Risky might be trying to slow down a little bit. Try and get Bishop back into this fight. I'm not sure. I suppose we'll find out. Bishop is still about the same distance he was last time I checked, about 1 second. Amazing Hour looking left and right. Maybe he is trying to battle here, Andrew. On the racing line, he'll have to go around the long way. Oh, and he does at turn 2, but Captain Risky stays on the inside of turn 3. A little bit of contact there. Through the chicane of 4 and 5. There's more contact, and even more contact as Amazing Hour goes into 9th place. Now Matt, he's closed in onto the back of Jono as Ranger Oz is into the pits. So with 13%, he comes in literally the 1 hour mark. Red One does the same at 19%. In we come. Up go the Drax, off go the Michelin tyres, on go the new ones. Red One, he'll pull up into his pit stall as well. With some new boots on his BMW. There goes Keaton. Here comes Amazing Hour and Captain Risky. Ranger Oz is still in the pits. There he is there, leaving now. So he's just behind this battle. The Ferrari well placed here, and he's on fresh tyres. Needs to get him up to temperature, but when he does, he's going to be quick. 313, 314. Oh, big sideways moment there from the Alpha. Captain Risky, living up to his name, completely sideways. And here comes Sai, pulls out of the slipstream. He's looking around the long way here. Not going to stay behind the Alpha. Oh, and a bit of a lift there from Captain Risky, so he wants to work with the Corvette. Oh, scraping the barrier. Try and catch up to Amazing Hour. But Amazing Hour, he'll have problems towards the end of the race with the fuel. He has to find ways to save it. Still a long way until the end of the race as the race leader, Gobi Mahindajit, is in. 3 litres of fuel left in the car. Doing 32 laps. Very long stint. Now probably the cars to look out for Mint, Matt, and Keaton. Keaton in P6. Second place. He made his stop. Speedy's into the pits as well with 15 litres of fuel. He's done a great job in fuel management. Alright, Matt. Probably the first car onto the scene at pit exit. Oh my goodness, he's out already. You're kidding. That's how good that first stint was from TX3 GTR. He comes out in front of Matt, who did a ginormous undercut. Look at that, 3.3 seconds. Gobi has over Matt. That's massive. The number 23 HKS GTR is flying. It's a further 3 seconds back to Keaton. Amazing Hours in 4th place, followed by Sai, then Captain Risky, half a second back. Ranger Oz is now 1.5 seconds back. Then it's a colossal 10-second margin to Ridwan in P8. Then Speedy Tyres in 9th. Viper Set is just behind in P10. Ooh, almost scraping the wall there. Speedy in his Hyundai. Viper, he'll be doing his best to close in. Stay with the fight. Norm in P11. He's just 3 seconds behind Viper Z. See him there. Norm, he'll do his best to close that gap. Get involved in the fight for the top 10 places. Then Pal, 7.5 seconds behind Norm. And then Jono, some fresh tyres, full fuel in the car. He's 10 seconds back, 46.8 seconds off the lead. Great sounding car, the Nissan GTR R35. Awesome sounding car. Equally awesome sounding the Porsche 911 RSR. With a straight 6? Is it in the back of that thing? Pretty sure it's a straight 6. Could be wrong though. Don't be afraid to message me what it actually is in the comments. I'm pretty certain it's a straight 6. Got a twin turbo V8 in the back of that McLaren. We got whatever's in this thing, in the Beetle. We've got a humongous V8 in the front of that thing. The Corvette. Captain Risky. I actually don't know what the race car version of this would have. Would it be a 4-cylinder? Maybe a V6? Not sure what this would have. Flat 6. Okay. Knew it was something like that. Flat 6. Then we got V8. Is that an 8? Is that a V12? I'm certain that's a V8 in the Ferrari. I'm probably wrong about that too. Red One, Speedy just working together. Viper just hanging in the background, 2.1 seconds behind. And there's Norm with that big V8 in the front of his car. Most of these cars would be V8s, actually. A lot of them. Ah, where to look? Where to look? For these three. We've got Keaton in third. We've got Matt in second. We've got Mr. GTR out in front. That should be his nickname, Mr. GTR. Because I swear this is the only car he drives. But he's really good at driving this car. And around this circuit as well. If I remember correctly, he won a World Tour event here at this very circuit. So he's a bit of a maestro of this track in this car. Want a dash lap with the GTR? Might not be a bad idea, actually. Ah, hang on. Now why? Hang on. Hopefully I'll be able to. That won't let me. Typically, if you look at the live timing screen and come back, you're able to access some of the onboard views. Hang on. I might quickly exit and come back. Give me a minute. There we are. Ah, there we are. Get a nice onboard lap here with our race leader because, as rightly pointed out, this would actually be quite nice to look at. Nice and steady on the inputs. Using the full rev range as well. No need to short shift. And through turn 6, hitting the apex, lovely. Using the full width of the circuit. It's what these top split drivers do remarkably well. Using the full width of the circuit. They're not afraid to get up and close and personal with the walls. Coming through turn 9 rather. Underneath turn 12, then through turn 10. Coming up to the hairpin of the turn 11. Got these lovely braking boards right on the racing line, braking at the 100. Bringing down to second gear. See, he's being nice and gentle on the brakes, nice and gentle on the throttle. He's not pushing it at all. Just letting the car show off its natural pace. Now the S's. Most technical part of the circuit, turn 12, turn 13, turn 14. Now the tricky turn 15, final part of the S's. Quite tight, you need to nail the exit in order to maximise straight line speed down the main straight. Cross the line to set a 53.1, that's a great lap. Just a 10th off his personal best, which is also the flying lap, fastest lap I should say, of the race. We saw turn 1 there, he was pushing quite hard, carried a lot of speed into the mid corner, and again using all of the circuit. Whatever's there, they're going to use it. And come up to the container depot section once again, braking at the 100 board. First gear, get that extra rotation. He short shifts to increase the traction. When he gets on the throttle, bit of a wiggle there. He keeps his car nice and tidy. No. See just how precise you need to be, how quick, how brave you need to be. Can't be too scared of those walls. You need to be mindful, but not scared. Matt just behind in second place. 3 seconds separate these two, but Matt, he needs to make another pit stop. And he'll make that pit stop with about 40 minutes remaining. Keaton's the next car, 3.6 seconds behind, followed by Amazing Hour. And Psydog. He's got Captain Risky all over his rear bumper. And that Ferrari of Ranger Oz, he hasn't left the party just yet. It's still there. So, Ranger, he's going pretty quickly. Oh, he was a bit sideways there too. Using the full width of the racetrack and then some. My goodness. Sounding engine there. Red One still in 8th, Speedy still in 9th, Viper still in 10th. In fact, these three have separated just a little bit. None of them are within slipstream range of anybody. They're sort of stuck in no man's land. Norm in P11, 4 seconds behind Viper. And it's Pal, still soldiering on. And then Paul Jono, well back. You'll get quite an interesting view from dash cam. Look at this, look at all of the stuff you can see from dash cam with this thing. Oh, it's fantastic. No need to run bonnet cam with this car. Just run cockpit. Get all the extra stuff as well. 110 degree engine temperature. Let's see here. Oh, can't quite read. Well, could probably guess what the other numbers stand for. Whoa, right up against the wall there. That's quite nice. And you can see quite a lot with that cockpit view. No doubt, you can see a lot of the environment. Mahinda Jet. He's lost a little bit. Well, he scraped the wall there. The entry to turn 11. But I'm sure he knows that Matt is doing a 2-stop, so he shouldn't have to worry too much about that Grove 911 RSR. What a lovely design on that car. Based off a Nissan Skyline GTR R32 that competed in the Japanese Touring Car Championship back in the early 90s. Sponsored by HKS. It's a very recognizable design. And to anyone who played GT2, Gran Turismo 2, it's even more recognizable because there's a few cars in that game that feature this design. Probably most iconically is the 180SX drag car that you can obtain in that game. See it under lights. It's a very nice, really identifiable looking livery. It's fantastic. And you got this great Porsche with the red chrome. Viper Z made this, and Matt put in a request to have it a chrome red, and it just works. Looks wonderful under lights. I've already made mention of Keaton's livery. This is something he's worked on. It just looks fantastic. Got that beautiful reflective blue, striking orange decals. It just works. It's a lovely livery. Then you got the Ray Break Alfa Romeo. Two brands I never thought I'd ever see together. I now have seen together. And it works pretty well on that Alfa, I have to say. It's number 32. Alfa Romeo. And we've got Cy, number 24. Logitech Rainbow Warrior. Chevrolet Corvette C7. Based, of course, off the famous Rainbow Warrior design that Jeff Gordon ran NASCAR. And then you got this gold GTA 5 sponsored Volkswagen Beetle. It's a stunning looking car. Paint spray, you got Pisswasser, you got ammunition on the rear wing. What else have you got? You got prolapse on the bonnet. It's a fantastic looking car. Got this lovely black and white, simple design, but just a very nice execution on this Ferrari 458 driven by Ranger Oz. Number 82 Ferrari. You can see it's just lovely. It's so simple, it's elegant, it just works. Very, very nice. Got the virtual racing school liveries on both the M6 here driven by Ridwan, the one on the Hyundai Genesis. Eventually got it out. Got a iconic Falcon livery on the Mustang. Very iconic livery, seen on several different racing machines. Got Norm in his Hoon Corp Mercedes-Benz. Got Pal in a Porsche 911. Very trippy design, but I love it. Of course, you got the Canadian Club Volkswagen GTI VGT, driven by John O'Stan. Quite correct, Daniel. I believe you're quite correct. John, I did make that last year. It was a very interesting car choice from Amazing Hour to go with the Beetle. It's fairly well known that It's not very good on fuel. I guess he just wanted a challenge. See if he could actually make it work. But I think, rather backwardly, Amazing Hour decided to go with a one-stop. I think with a car like that consumes so much fuel, he was probably better off doing a two-stop and absolutely sending it. So no, he did a one-stop. The only driver doing a two-stop is this man, Matt. Got a hefty margin to P3, just under 5 seconds. But he's going to lose maybe 25 seconds, I reckon. So let's see, he's got a 2-second margin to Mahinderjit. How far back do I have to go until I hit 25 seconds to the leader? Okay, so he'll be around where Ridwan is currently when he makes his stop. And he will make his stop in about 1 or 2 laps time. Hello, look at this. 3 cars. We've got Captain Risky, we've got Psydog, we've got Amazing Hour. They're heading up towards the container depot section. And Ranger Oz is just there. His black and white Ferrari. Steadily chipping away at that margin to Amazing Hour. Working at it, closing the gap. Actually, he's within slipstream range now. I just noticed he's within 6/10 of Amazing Hour. So he'll get the benefit of the slipstream, and this will now become a 4-way fight. 6/10 of his previous best there. So, oh, hello. Sai going for 4th. Risky slotting back into 5th place. Interesting. Bit of teamwork there. Down towards the hairpin. All cars lights ablaze. Always Sai doesn't get the greatest run out of the hairpin, at least compared to Captain Risky. He got quite a nice run coming out of turn 11. Over the crest towards the S's, turns 12, 13 and 14. Oh, Risky's all over the back of the Corvette. Coming through 15, right up towards the wall. Very tight, very good stuff. Just behind we have these 3. All tightly bunched. Oh, into the wall goes Speedy. No damage. So he can thank his lucky stars for that, but he's now out of slipstream range to Ridwan. Here we go. Down towards turn 2. Risky stays behind. Same with Amazing Hour. They're all just sitting in the train, waiting. I suppose with Amazing Hour, he can't race just yet. He does have a fuel problem that he needs to overcome before he starts racing. Closing in on the 40-minute mark. Oh. Closing in on the final third of this 2-hour race. See a purple first sector there from Captain Risky, who has got a Volkswagen Beetle all over the back of him as they head through turn 9. Through turn 10. Is he close enough? As Matt goes into the pits, this will be his final stop. Oh, that's tight between Ranger Oz and Amazing Hour there in the braking zone at turn 11. Ranger Oz taking a slightly wider line there. The camera angle was a bit deceptive, but I'm pretty sure he took a slightly wider line just to try and get a better exit. And Matt getting new tyres fitted, getting some fuel in the car. Here comes Ridwan. Speedy tyres and Vipers, so he will come out behind them by some margin as well. That pit stop, I thought it would be about 25 seconds or so. I was dead wrong. It's more like 35 seconds. So he's behind Norm, T11. But he's got fresh tyres. Got not too much fuel in the car. Again, he'll be giving himself a license to push, and his first target is Norm in the SLS AMG. That is a stunning looking machine. These three all in a train. I imagine these three will give themselves a nice battle towards the end. Captain Risky, Ranger ROOZ, Sidor. Hang on. Where's Amazing Hour? He's now 11 seconds back. Hello, what happened to you? So Amazing Hour got caught up in something. He's now 12 seconds behind Captain Risky. Now it's a three-way fight for third. Cy Bishop's leading. Ranger ROOZ just stays behind. Doesn't go for any moves just yet. Now with Amazing Hour stuck by himself, he might fall vulnerable a little bit to Ridwan, especially with that fuel concern that he has with the Beetle. An Amazing Hour. Oh, hello. He's stopped. Has he left? Must have. So Amazing Hour has left. Down to 12 cars. Oh dear. So maybe Amazing Hour, he might have been helped just a little bit, I reckon. Maybe he's had enough. He's quit. There's a prompt. The chat prompt. Ah, fair enough. Fair enough, Andrew. No point racing through the pain if you do have a back that's acting up. I mean, Noodles did a similar thing. He recently had his wisdom teeth pulled out, so he's in a bit of pain and he pulled out, so yeah, I wouldn't be too upset about it. Ranger ROOZ giving Cy a big hurry up here, coming over the crest towards turn 11. Ranger doesn't go for the move just yet, biding his time. Captain Risky is 1.2 seconds behind Ranger, so I don't know how he's going to claw that time back unless Cy backs up Ranger a little bit. Gets him back into this. I think Captain Risky, his fight for third might be over. Say might, we've still got 36 minutes worth of racing to get through. Coming around turn 15, the final corner on the racetrack, the gap is 0.4 of a second between these two. Ah, yikes. Disconnecting your wheel and headset, yikes. See, that's where a controller comes in, Daniel. It's a bit more difficult for a controller to disconnect. Not impossible, mind you, just less difficult. Alright, Ranger, what do you got for us? He is right up that Corvette's chuff. Doesn't go for a move. Oh, God. I completely understand. Teamwork, definitely the way to go. Because the slipstream is so powerful. But, man, you have to be so very patient. so very patient. Yeah, true. It's the same with someone jumping from a controller to a wheel. It's not like an instantaneous switch. There's sort of a warm-up curve. Getting used to the new feeling, new inputs. Oh. See there, Cy, he defended the inside briefly, then he cut back onto the racing line. Ranger ROOZ not giving any opportunity to try and pass. Lovely light grey prancing horse on top of that roof as well. I only just spotted that. Quite a nice implement of that. This makes it look quite nice. Through the S's. Ranger ROOZ just Not quite in a position to do anything at the moment. Got these three. Still in the train. Red one, followed by Viper this time around in 7th place. Then Speedy, who is right behind the Mustang. Coming through 14, then through turn 15. A good 30 seconds behind the leader, but they're just enjoying their own battle. What's his P6? Might have a bit of company soon. Oh, as both Matt and Norm go into the wall at the final corner. Matt doesn't get any damage, neither does Norm. Now, Matt, can he close up that gap? 8 seconds without any tow. He might get a bit of help from Norm if Norm wants to be cooperative, but Matt, oh, he's gone into the wall there at turn 1. He lost a bit of time, a bit of momentum. What does the Mercedes do? It looks like he's going to try and help him along. It certainly seems like it as they head into the container depot section. Around turn 63, keeping it off the walls. See, Red One's got a considerable amount of fuel left in the car. Same with Viper, all three of them do actually. In around 50% left, and they need that because they're closing in on the halfway mark. The 3/4 mark of this race. Yeah, all three just working together for the moment. Ranger Oz has moved himself into 3rd place. Sai is slot in behind the Ferrari. Maybe in an attempt to save a bit of fuel. You can see Ranger, he's got a fair bit more compared to the Corvette. So we've got 32 minutes left. So maybe Sai is going to slot in behind, save a little bit of fuel here and there. Just to get himself in a window to finish the race without making another stop. You can see here he's just pushing Ranger Oz along. A lot of teamwork. Lots and lots of teamwork. Keaton, he's all boys lonesome in P2. He's got a healthy margin to the car behind of 3.7 seconds. It is steadily closing. Tell you what, if Ranger and Sai, they can work together a bit more and try and close that gap, we might have a 3-way fight for seconds, but that's just me being optimistic. This man, he's untouchable with an almost 9-second lead. Hinderjit just in his own world out there, Tokyo Expressway. Unfortunately, Jono Stan is in his own world. Poor fella. Down in 12th, the only driver that I've seen get damage. Still in the race, he's 13 seconds behind the next car, but he's still digging in. He's going to go to the end, I'm sure. Powers the next car, followed by Norm and Matt. They're working together, trying to close in on the 3 VRS satellite racing cars in front. Though that gap between Matt and Viper hasn't really shrunk. Stayed at about 7.8 to 8 seconds. Viper on the back of Speedy, looking left and right. Oh, a scrape of the wall there, but no major concern from that. What's Viper going to do here? Is he just going to help Speedy along? I saw a big lift there into turn 1, so oh, and a big scrape there from Red One. Good to see plenty of support for Simon from Sam. Could do an onboard with Speed. Go right in the middle of this 3-way battle here. having to deal with a car in front and, well, in your mirrors constantly. You're getting plenty of tow from Ridwan in front. Speedy does have to be a little bit careful as Ridwan's from WA, not the greatest connection in the world. See Viper's head right there in his wing mirrors. Lights ablaze. Brings it down to first gear. Fairly similar to Mahindra Jet from earlier using first gear, but doesn't short shift. Doesn't really need to either because this car is naturally aspirated, so you get a fairly even delivery of power compared to a turbocharged engine when you get it all at once towards the end of the rev range. So Speedy can afford to bring on the power that little bit earlier. Coming through final turn 15. So here down the straight. 240, 245. He's going to give his teammate a bump. There we are. Yep. Oh, Ridwan missing the apex by a good meter or so there. Says Viper said. That'd be very blinding if you looked into that in real life. My goodness. Nice little bump there. And a bump from behind from Viper. Big lift because he doesn't want to run up the back of Ridwan. Yeah, it's quite a different driving style when you're in a sort of battle group. A bit sideways there on the exit. Have these big lifts, try and avoid pile driving your teammate. But also to save fuel. Try and get to the end of this race. We've still got 20 odd minutes left in this. 27 minutes. Oh, poor Captain Risky. He's all by his lonesome now. Got 5 seconds to Bishop. Oh, and we've got 14 seconds to Ridwan. Sign 4th place. Quite interesting to see how Sai does it around here as well. Following Ranger Oz in the Ferrari. There's a car in front. That's Keaton. 2 seconds. Well, that gap has shrunk. What happened to Keaton? Must have made a mistake at some point. Because he's now 11.2 seconds behind Mahindra Jet. Only 2 seconds in front of Ranger Oz. Fortunately for the McLaren driver, no damage. No visible damage anyway on the telemetry. But now with Ranger and Sai working together, they might be able to close in. Might. But 26 minutes left. Gap has shrunk. Now it's 1.5 seconds. There's Keaton in the McLaren, then Ranger Oz in the Ferrari, then Sai in the Corvette. Rangers just chipping away at that gap. Through turn 10, up towards the hairpin of 11. Coming around that hairpin now. Bit of understeer there. He was on the marbles. Gap opened up a little bit to 1.6 seconds. Coming around turn 12. Then through 13 and 14. Now Keaton will have slightly worse tyres. You can see there. Just slightly worse. Nothing major. Ooh, brush with the wall there. But there will be a subtle difference and a subtle advantage for Ranger Oz, as he made his pit stop a little bit later compared to Keaton, who did a big undercut. Coming out to turn 1. Sai right on the back of the Ferrari, heading towards the dip. Coming up and over the crest towards turn 2. So it just stays behind, but the gap closes to 1.3 seconds. Actually, so I lost a little bit of ground, about half a second there. Banging off quite a bit to make sure he definitely doesn't hit Ranger. Gap is now 1 second. Keaton has got 25% left in the tank. 24 minutes remaining. That's about 10 laps or so, maybe 11. ROOZ is almost in slipstream range now. Coming up towards a hairpin of 11. That was a big lift. I reckon he's doing this deliberately, Keaton. He wants slipstream to try and get himself back into a window where he can finish the race without stopping. Maybe he just doesn't have quite enough fuel. And look, he's almost a second down on his personal best. Coming through 13 and 14. So we now got a three-way fight for second. Keaton in the McLaren 650S. Ranger ROOZ in the Ferrari 458 GT3. And Cydog in the Chevrolet Corvette C7. The Brits versus the Italians. Oh, versus the big America that hit the wall big time. The exit of turn 1. The Ranger ROOZ, he's actually driven very, very well, and now he's gonna move into second place. Keaton not putting up much of a fight. Again, I think he wants a slipstream to try and save some fuel. See, Ranger ROOZ, he's got over 25%. Keaton's got less. He's very sideways there. Side basically on 25%. I was saying before, Ranger ROOZ, he's now in second. Started 10th. He's made up 8 places over the course of this race. I think he's definitely looking at a driver of the day performance. Captain Risky has also driven pretty well from P8 up to P5, making up 3 positions. And here comes Cy, moving by Keaton. So I think that reaffirms the theory that he wants slip, try and save some fuel. Hopefully we'll get to see some explosive racing between these 3 at the end. To have a nice battle for the final podium spot. Keaton though, he's almost outside of that slip range. And he's got back within half a second. Coming out to turn 15. Ooh, that was up against the wall there. These fellas will now start lap 52 of the race. 21 minutes remaining. Getting close to the final 10 laps of this endurance race. The final 10 laps for the final 2-hour event on GT Sport. Before we move over to the new GT7 game. Viper, the man in charge of all of this, he's already got plenty of things in the works, ready for next season. Can't wait to see what they are. Oh. Tell you what, if these guys aren't sweating, I'll be very surprised, because I am. Partly because it's been very long, mostly because it has been stinking hot. Well, hot and humid. So I am sweaty. I'm very sweaty. Coming up towards 11. Yeah, I reckon we're gonna see some patient driving for now. Gonna have to be patient. Red one, Speedy, Viper, still in the train. Matt is closing. Gap is 4.5 seconds between him and Viper, so time's running out, but that gap is closing. He needs to keep his head down, keep pushing. See if he can catch up to Viper. Pushing really hard there, using everything on the exit. Car was a tad bit sideways as well. Oh, sparks flying. I think that was off Speedy's car. I think. Didn't get a great look. Definitely one of these. Oh, that was definitely Viper. Scraping the wall at the entry to turn 15. Now, because we're now entering the final stages of this race, the driver's stamina will be quite drained, especially around a circuit like this where you need to be concentrating quite a bit. As I said at the beginning, this will be an enduring focus testing race. You can see Red One is jumping about a little bit. Speedy gives him a bit of a push on that. And Matt has closed in to within 3.7 seconds of Viper, so he's definitely closing. Ranger still in second place. Sai still in third. Keaton still in fourth. So this fight is still very much alive with 18 minutes left. Amazing how I had back problems, Candy, that's all. He was putting up with some back problems throughout the race and he just had enough, so he's backed out. Which is only fair. You don't want to put yourself through any sort of pain for this. And as I just noticed, Sai has got the fastest lap of 52.892. I believe that's the first time in the 52s. Sai did that on his 51st lap. You can see that on the right-hand side of the leaderboard. Lap 51 in purple. Oh, a few sparks flying up there. This is going to be an interesting few laps between these three. Very interesting few laps. Ranger, still good on fuel compared to Sai. Sai's got a little bit less and Keaton's got less than Sai. Keep an eye on the telemetry. You probably have a massive lift into 2. Yeah, look at that. Just over the crest. He is already lifting. So he's in mega fuel save mode right now. Those big lifts. He's doing a little bit of short shifting here and there. See there, he's shifting just after the gear selection, gear reference box, I should say. Making sure he saves as much fuel as possible. So I don't think he'll go for the move just yet. He's going to play a patient game. He's going to wait. Coming up towards the hairpin. Get on the brakes. For turn 11. Round they go. Half a second. This is going to be tight, I reckon. So he has to find a balance between being aggressive to go for that second place, but also save fuel. A little lift off into the S's. Through 13 and 14. Fantastic stuff between these three. Or a bit wide, tad bit wide from Bishop. He now has Keaton right on his back bumper as they head up towards the start line. 54.8. He won't be too happy with that lap, I'm sure. 54.6 from Ranger Oz. He wasn't setting blistering times either. Now Ranger, what's he doing? Is he good on fuel? One easy way to tell is looking at the telemetry. So we'll come up and over the crest here. Heading into 2. No lift at all. So he's going from full throttle straight onto the brakes into the deep braking zones. Comes out of turn 5, scraping the wall on the exit. Using every bit of circuit. Meanwhile, TX3 GTR just gone. 15.3 seconds is the margin. And he has just over 25% of fuel with 14 minutes left. He is all set to go to the end. And so long as he doesn't make any mistakes, which I highly doubt he will, he's all set for the victory here in Tokyo. Bit sideways there from Bishop, exiting the hairpin. He's still very much in touch with Ranger Oz. Keaton still hovering, still saving fuel, still trying to make it. You can see there he's about, I'd say, 13 litres, 12 litres left. And we've got just over 13 and a half minutes left in the race. It is going to be tight for Keaton. Captain Risky in 5th in the Raybrig Alfa Romeo. He's got a 4-second margin to Ridwan. Then there's Speedy. Then there's Viper Z, who is 2 seconds behind. And then there's Matt. 1.3 seconds behind the Mustang. Viper Z might be getting a tad bit worried because that Porsche is looming close. Or maybe he's looking forward to it to see his own design pass him on the racetrack. Who knows? To be honest, there's a fair chance it might be the latter. Coming out of 1. Down towards 2. Gap is 1.1. It is shrinking. Ridwan, Speedy, just working together. They're in a very healthy P6 and 7. So this is going to be a nice finish for the satellite racing team. Let's see here. That's Risky. 2.8 seconds to Ridwan. I think he should be able to hang on to P5 from here. Captain Risky started from P8 in P5, driving quite nicely. But look at that gap, it has shrunk. Oh my word, has it shrunk. Oh, hang on. Oh, look at Captain Risky's fuel. Compare that to Ridwan or Speedy. Ridwan and Speedy have fairly similar fuel. Captain Risky, though, he's well down, so maybe he's now going to try and back off and get some slipstream help, like with Keaton. See, their fuel's going to be a big issue coming towards the end. So he might still have some fuel troubles. Might. Time will tell. And there's Ranger Oz at the front of this train. Still pushing, so I imagine he's set. Coming down the hill, through the dip, back up the hill towards turn 2. 2 tenths separating Cy and Ranger. Don't think we'll see any battling just yet. I reckon about 2 to go, about 5 minutes left. That's when we'll see this battle start to kick off. If Cy has enough fuel to go to the end, he will be ready to battle Ranger Oz, that's for sure. And there's the flashing red icon on Keaton's McLaren. So he's running low. Can he make it with 10 minutes, or does he have to stop for a quick splash and dash? Go to the end. There's Captain Risky. He's now got Ridwan and Speedy well and truly behind him now. Getting through the tunnel section. There are the 2 satellite cars. There's the Raybrig Alfa Romeo. Coming through turn 9, the gap is 6 tenths. Coming up towards the hairpin. Gap shrinks to 4 tenths, to 3 tenths. Heading into the hairpin of turn 11. Bit of a wiggle there from Ridwan, but he keeps it straight. And Matt is through as well. So Matt is into 8th place. He's overtaken Viper Z. His next target is Speedy, Ridwan, and Captain Risky. Can he close that gap with just under 10 minutes remaining? Oh, and into the wall. Oh dear, that was Ridwan. No damage for the BMW though. Oh, and I think the Alpha briefly went into the wall. I think that was Captain Risky. I might be wrong. That could have been Ridwan again. See there, minor lapse in concentration from the BMW driver. A little bit of lag there. Get through turn 1. There is the Porsche of Mid-Matt. He is closing. The gap is 1.9 seconds. He doesn't have a toe, but what he does have is fresh tyres and fuel to go to the end. As Captain Risky defends the inside line at 2. Ridwan tries to get the over-under done. He's alongside the Alpha. Oh, but Captain Risky gets the drive. He maintains his 5th place. Ridwan stays in P6. Speedy is still there in 7th. Coming through turn 6 now. Oh, scraping the wall there just briefly. There is Matt. He is flying. Gap is now 1.4 seconds between Speedy and Matt. Through the S's. There's Matt. Well, looking around the long way. Look at the straight line speed the BMW's got. Speedy will try and follow. So Captain Risky will go from 5th to 7th. With both satellite cars moving through. Oh, but Captain Risky tries to fight around the outside. This might be a fairly successful comeback from the Alpha driver. It is a great move around the outside on the marbles. Great stuff, fantastic. Risky now splits the 2 VRS cars in P6. And there's the looming Porsche. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. He's now under a second behind Speedy. We're going to have a 4-way fight here, folks, for 5th place. Man who currently holds it is Ridwan. Captain Risky just behind. He's low on fuel. You can see the flashing icon. Out of turn 1. Speedy. What will he try and do? Does he have the legs to outpace the Alfa Romeo? You can see Ridwan trying to give the Hyundai a toe, but it's not working. Risky, he's going to stay on the outside here for turn 2. Risky going the long way. Can he find the traction? Can he find the drive? He can. He'll have the inside line for turn 5. He hangs on to P6. Great defensive driving from Captain Risky. But now Matt is well and truly in this battle. Coming out to turn 6. Down towards the tunnel section. Through turn 7. All 4 cars. Then through turn 8. Better keep my eye on the battle for P2 as well, because that's about to spice up too. Through turn 9. Ah, Keaton's going in. He can't make it. He cannot make it. He has to do a quick splash and dash. Meanwhile, coming down towards turn 11, it's almost 3 wide. As Speedy defends the inside line through turn 11. Coming out of the hairpin. Here comes Matt. Can he get the drive? He can. Oh, but not enough. Risky hangs on. He'll defend that inside line. Coming towards turn 12. Hangs on to P6. So Ridwan now moves up into 4th place. All of these guys getting a free spot due to Keaton pitting in. It's now a 2-horse race for 2nd. Oh, sparks fly. Coming out to the final turn. This group of 4 cars will cross the line to begin lap 60. They've got 5.5 minutes remaining in the race. Around turn 1. Down towards the big dip. Got Ridwan, Speedy, Captain Risky, and Matt. All drivers with the red fuel icon on now. Down towards T2. Captain Risky looking left and right. Matt's alongside the Alpha, but again, Captain Risky gets the drive, a bit of contact. Oh, and Matt gets through. He gets through into P6. Bit of a wobble there from Captain Risky. Cost him a little bit of time, just enough. And Matt moves through into P6. But he's out of a tow. The VRS Satellite Racing Team boys will be pretty happy with that. They can now try and pull away from Matt and Risky. Ranger, Oz, Side Dog, P2 and P3. 3.5 tenths separating the two. Down and around the hairpin. Matt, he's still within a second. In fact, he's under 8 tenths. He's found a lot of time out of the hairpin. That Porsche obviously very good at corner exit. Probably the mid-corner as well. So he's back within the toe. The battle is not over for 4th place. Coming through 12, through 13. The VRS boys, they can work together here, but Ridwan not doing them any favours as he hits the wall on the outside of turn 14. His teammate does the same out to the final corner. Down the main straight they go. It's now 3 minutes, 39 seconds left in this race, and it's very much on. Matt, though, he's dropped a lot of time. A lot within the context of this battle, of course, because he's now a second behind. Now, what will Risky do? Will he help Matt? Looks like he might. I don't see any obvious signs of trying to overtake just yet. Will he pull out? No, he stays behind. These two, they can work together. They can secure a really great result for their team. So long as they keep out of the walls. Got under 3 minutes left. And Sai's lost time. Sai has lost a lot of time. Look at that. He's now 2.7 behind Ranger. I reckon he's in mode 6 with the fuel. Will he pit? No, there's no way he's pitting. Doing a massive fuel save to try and get to the end. You'll have to do 2 laps. Maybe. Oh, it'll be tight. It will be very tight for Sai. If he can do 1 lap, I think he'll be okay. Needs to do 2. He might be in a little bit of trouble. But he's got a huge margin to Ridwan, so he can burn up some time if he needs to. When does he cross the line? No, he should be okay. I think he'll have 1 lap left. Crosses the line. It's 1 minute and 56 seconds remaining in this race for him. I think that will be his final lap. These three very much in a battle. This will be their final lap. Opportunities will be limited for Matt. Speedy, I think, might be content with 5th place at this stage. Will he go for a move? Will he help his teammate? He's going to stay behind Ridwan. Into the braking zone at turn 2. Look at Matt close in. So confident under brakes in the Porsche. Exiting 3 through the chicane of 4 and 5. Matt gets lovely drive. Ridwan doesn't. It bunches him up. Matt, he's only got 1 realistic shot, and that's at the hairpin of turn 11. Exiting 6. None of these 3 hit any walls. Kept it out of the barriers. Pretty sure GTR will have 1 more lap next to his name. Pretty certain. Oh, right up against the wall there. Here we go. You can see Speedy giving his teammate a big helping hand here as they exit turn 10. They're heading towards the hairpin of 11. It's Matt's final chance. He's looking around the outside. He doesn't go for the big dive bomb. He's looking around the long way. He's on the marbles. Coming out to the hairpin. A big squeeze there. Matt stays in 6th place, but he's got a nose alongside Speedy. You can see Ridwan backing him up just a little bit as they head into the S's for the final time. And Matt goes round the outside at 12. He'll have the inside line at 13. They biff, they bang. Oh, he's sideways. He's very sideways. He was in the wall. So Speedy hangs on to P5. Matt drops to P6. Ridwan will come home in P4 at the end of the day. It'll be a 4-5 finish for the VRS boys. And Matt will stay in P6. First of the podium finishes is Psydog in the Corvette. Just 8 seconds in front of Ridwan. Got 2 drivers. Oh, dearie me. His power was very sideways there. We've got a few more drivers yet to finish. We've got Viper in the Mustang. He'll come across the line, completing 62 laps in P10. Jono, he'll finish in 11th. You'll be thinking what could have been if it weren't for that accident at turn 1 out of the final corner. Coming up towards the line, Jono Stan 96 will finish P11, followed by Pal 97, who has run out of fuel. He'll finish in P12. But this man, quite simply, has been untouchable. Set a brilliant lap time in the top 5 shootout, out-qualifying his nearest rival by just under half a second. He's going to have a winning margin of a monstrous 25 seconds to P2. Congratulations, Mr. Mahinderjit. You win the 2 hours of Tokyo. Congratulations. Fantastic drive. And congratulations as well to Ranger Oz. He started from P10. He's going to finish on the podium in 2nd. A fair candidate for driver of the day, I'm sure. He'll be the only other driver to complete 63 laps of this event. And those are the race results. Just ever so briefly. They didn't last very long now, did they? There it is. Pole position to victory lane for TX3 GTR. And these wonderful HKS Nissan GTR. Typical Australians. Oh, that's a great final message. Oh, dear me. 2 hours is quite long, as it turns out. Oh, goodness. That was incredibly long. Well, what an effort from the Hinderjet. Oh, driver's saying their congratulations there. But a huge margin, 25 seconds. That's huge. Captain Risky, pick a number between 1 and 10. What's that about? Oh, dearie me, folks. That was long. But I hope everyone enjoyed that. This was my first ever time commentating on GT Sport. Done 2 years of commentary on F1. It's my first time on GT Sport. It's a bit different here. You're given some extra information, you're given some less information in some areas. So, it's been a fairly nice experience, and I hope everyone at home enjoyed that as well. No, I think, unless I'm wrong, I think that might wrap everything up here for the Tokyo 2 hour. This will be our final 2 hour race on Race on Oz before GT7. Oh, dear me, my voice box is burnt out, that's for sure. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Well, with the race all done and dusted, I think it's time to end the stream. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I've been Lane Everingham, and until next time, it's goodbye.